Greetings, Breakthrough Atlanta family, and we are going to go over the school year program public speaking lesson plan for October the 17th. You will receive a Google Doc of the school year program lesson plans. And on the first page, you will see the school year program schedules. As you can see, for public speaking, you will teach 8th grade first at 9 o'clock, and then you will teach 7th grade at 10 o'clock, and these are both 50-minute sessions. And then you just stroll down. First, you'll see the social emotional lesson plan. So keep strolling until you see the public speaking lesson plans. The theme for October the 17th is the value of storytelling. So within this theme, we're going to be unlayering different concepts. And so the most important is just the value in a story and looking at the public speaker's way in which he tells the story, which will help you understand the experiences of different people. So the guiding question for the unit is, how does storytelling teach us about life, ourselves, and others? So the technology and the resources that you will need, you will have all of these materials, all of these things will be in Google Classroom. You'll receive a code on how to access it. Then you will also be able to have your Google Slides, which will have a presentation on the value of storytelling. And it looks like that. I'm going to open that because we'll be jumping into it very soon. Then you can also use Wheel of Names, which is a random name selector. It's in a Web 2.0 tool, and all you do is you can do this during introductions or during the do now. Just go ahead and type in students, their names. So I'm going to say student name 1, student name 2. So let's just add that really quickly. You can do that while students are doing their work. Quickly spin the wheel, stop the wheel. It'll stop on student 4 this time. And if you have a question, if you can remove that student so that you know that that student has already answered a question. If you feel that your students aren't easily open to participating in group discussions, or when you call on someone or ask for someone to participate, they're not, you can do a random name selector to help engage in conversation. So it's just a quick way for classroom management. You can shuffle up the list, you can sort it from an alphabetical order, you can remove all the names, you can start you can start over. So I can always go back and add student 4's name at any time. You don't have to actually write the word student. You can write saying any name of our kids. So great tool for management. Then you will have the Google form in which the students will complete the assignment. A link will be provided, and then the video of the actual piece that we're going to be analyzing, which is a video of public speaker and author Jason Reynolds. He delivers a commencement speech at Lesley University. So it's very important for us to look at the standards. It's a non-content based standard, but this is just the overall purpose. So being able to allow students to understand that they will be able to develop an understanding and appreciation of the differences amongst people in order to respect and convey positive attitudes regarding human experiences in their lives. And so the academic vocabulary that we will look at is commencement. It's a big component. He's actually delivering a commencement speech, and so in order for students to understand the context, allowing them to know what is a commencement. So they are probably familiar with the graduation ceremony, but letting them know they're looking at a commencement speech. He also talks about irreverence, which is a lack of respect for people or things that are generally taken seriously. So making sure they understand key vocabulary. Their final product is very much so more of a dialogue component, but they will have to submit an assignment. It's a rhetorical analysis of Jason Reynolds' commencement speech, which is going to be recorded in a Google form. And how they will demonstrate student mastery is just discussing elements in public speaking that relate to understanding the experiences of people. So if they can just discuss that and have an open student-centered conversation about it, then they've mastered the actual lesson. And what I will do is I'll quickly, just so that you know, it is all the same thing. The product is the same thing as the Google form. I will link this form right here for you. And students will have access to this assignment via Google Classroom. So they'll go into the Google Classroom for school year program, and they will have the ability to submit their assignment online. So this is the agenda, their breakdown. Again, they will start off with a do now, and all of this is on the slides presentation. So simply going over the purpose, which is similar to the standard, just actually explaining and stating the purpose, which again is to develop an understanding and appreciation that people have, and the similarities and the differences in just life experiences. Do now. Is it possible for everyone to be successful? Explain why or why not. Think about your answer to yourself and then share your response with the class. So allowing students to actually explain if they feel that everyone can be successful. And as you are doing that, you all can allow the students to actually state this verbally or actually write their answers in the chat box. So at this time, I'm going to open up the slide presentation so that you can see that all of the information in the lesson plan is going to be in the slides to help you transition. So again, that is the purpose, thinking it through, the do now. Now you will go into the hook. So using the next image on the next slide, have students discuss the similarities and differences amongst both people and objects in the picture. So they're going to be able to explain, and I'll remove this. I want them to be able to just analyze the picture. What do they see? And answer those questions. Do both people in this image have what it takes to make it to the finish line? What skills would both need to be successful at the race? What story does this picture tell? So it's going back into the theme of storytelling. What does the picture say? Why does it matter? And actually looking at the words in the image. What's the matter? It's the same distance. So a lot of times what I want students to be able to take away from this image is that, hey, this perception is reality for one person may not be the reality of another person. Different experiences, different realities, and just getting some thoughtful conversations before we dig really deep into the meat of the actual lesson. Again, they're going to, for building the skill, it's a 10-minute commencement speech. It's very thought-provoking. It is very intriguing. Imagery, storytelling was super phenomenal, but it's a piece on basically the art of perception and how different stories and make speeches, make your thoughts come to life. And so what Jason Reynolds did as a public speaker is he gave a story within a commencement speech to inspire graduates. And so I want you all to, please watch the 10-minute video prior to teaching this course. And at the end of the speech, I want the students to be able to answer the question, what do they think was the most important message in his story? So the video is already embedded into the presentation. And all you have to do is hit that to expand it. So once they watch the video, they're going to practice the skill piece on their own or in groups. So you can create breakout groups for them to do. They're going to complete the Google form, and it's embedded into the slide, answering the following questions from the video. And then after they complete the Google form, you're going to ask them these questions, either whole group or also within their breakout rooms. So first is the Google form. They will write their name, and they have to put in this information before they move on, their family number. So the questions are: at the beginning of the speech, what bit of humor helps Jason Reynolds charm his audience? Who was Mr. Reynolds? What did he look like? As Confucius the fish suffers on the floor, two girls pick it up like a grenade and return it to the tank of water. A writer of Reynolds' caliber is careful with words. Why do you suppose he chose this particular simile to describe this particular moment? As two girls who rescue Confucius leave the classroom, Mr. Williams tells them to pick up your heads. In fact, you did the right thing. And then it just continues. All of these answers are just short answer questions, really thought provoking. Only one multiple choice: was Reynolds an effective speaker? Why or why not? And then have them submit the questions. Then once they complete this form, they're going to complete these two questions, and these questions can be completed as a whole group, or they can be completed in their breakout rooms and have them come back to the main room and discuss the questions and why they chose those questions. The exit ticket you're going to ask them is: Mr. Williams an amazing teacher or an irrational tyrant? What story do you think his students would tell about him as a teacher? And again, I'll give you actual quote on who Confucius was. And as you actually listen to the video, it makes more sense. So again, Jason Reynolds talks about a story in which he took a class in high school, a global studies class, and he had a teacher called named Mr. Reynolds, and he gave them an assignment. And the assignment is dealing with a fish named Confucius. And once you actually listen to the video, it will make more sense on the purpose of the actual lesson. But I want you all to have conversations with your students on, as a public speaker, did he give an effective message? And what message did he tell? What story did he tell? And as your closure, this is an excerpt from his speech. Every day is a day of decision making, a day for me to actively decide what I'm willing to sacrifice, what I'm willing to risk. A day for me to continue to parse the difference between irreverence and irresponsibility. A day to continue the significance of being told over and over and over again to spread my wings and change the world without ever addressing the fact that not everyone has wings. So I want the students to share one thing people can do to ensure they help others with clipped wings soar. Because within the commencement speech, he's basically providing you a metaphor of how people how everyone is expected to succeed. Yet everyone doesn't have the tools to succeed. And if they don't, if they're at different starting lines, different tools, equity and equality, if they're missing two components that are different in nature, how are you helping people to get to that level in which they need to be in order to just get to a starting point where they can step out and actually meet the criteria and expectations to be successful? So that is the synopsis of the public speaking theme and what we're trying to achieve in this lesson. I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, please let me know. And this is the end of the lesson plan overview.